thing is on. How
I
about
think we're
that?
on.
The second I said, "Is this thing on?" It turns out that we're on. Hi, how you
Some
doing?
magic words, Matt.
It's unbelievable. It really is. The Weekenders continues here on the Weekenders YouTube platform, whatever you want to call it. I'm Matt McCarthy. Hi, Mason Sousa, Brendan Glasheen alongside. What the hell happened? What is this, Glasheen?
They're coming back nice, man. It's been 3 weeks.
So I saw this on Twitter, and I was like, he didn't seriously shave his eyebrows, right? You shaved your eyebrows.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's been 3 weeks. It was just a little fun with the DraftKings family, but yeah, we're coming back strong. They said 4 to 6 weeks. It's a Gordon Hayward injury. That's it. That's how I looked at it. Just a minor, just a silly Gordon Hayward injury, not the first injury, the second injury. And I said, all right, if I can put that in my head, I'll be fine.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The Celtics are fine without him.
I don't know if it's a little fun, but I think you've lost your mind in the quarantine a long time ago. I think that's what we're at to.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Well, do we want to learn more before we dive into sports about? You say it was fun with the DraftKings family. I feel like the people want to know more. Like when you say fun with the DraftKings family, this here does not look like fun, but maybe, I come from like a weird place. I don't know. You tell me, Glasheen, how exactly did this happen?
So we're doing Madden simulations at DraftKings. We're doing 6 of those a day. And for one of the first games we did, like week 1 or 2, we're trying to get people to hit like on the stream, to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. And all I said was we were thinking of creative ways to do it. And I think the previous couple of broadcasts with other people, they're like, what would you do to get the likes up? And we were in the middle of Raiders-Bills. And I said, all right, you know what? If we get to 1,000, they were playing stuff off me. And then I said, you know what? Fine. I'll shave both of my eyebrows. And the people did it. And I'm a man of my word. And I did it.
Well, I think it's very important that you're a man of your word, because there was one time I did say I would do something on the air if Jeff Green came into the Boston Garden and beat the Celtics in Game 7. I said, if Jeff Green comes in here tonight, Mason Sousa witnessed all of this. I said, if Jeff Green comes in and beats the Celtics on their home floor in Game 7, I will cut my foot off live on the air and eat it, which is exactly what happened. Jeff Green, not LeBron James, Jeff Green came into the Boston Garden and beat the Celtics on their home court in Game 7. The Celtics choked it away and allowed that bum to come in there. And of course, I did not eat.
No, that's exactly what happened. It was the best hour in radio history. No condiments, no seasoning, just with a hacksaw. No anesthesia, no Novocaine, just live on air, foot off and in your mouth. And it was a great sight.
Yeah, no, it was. I felt really confident that Jeff Green was not going to do that, and of course, he did. So,
I apologize about the humble brag about Clorox wipes over here. How's everyone doing in that aspect? Are we about to slit each other's throats for toilet paper? Because I was looking in my pantry the other day. Is that where you keep the toilet paper? Anyway, and I'm like, I'm running a little low, so I went on eBay. I went on Amazon just for fun, and I'm like, yeah, they're selling these for $75 and it comes from China. I'm like, I need to figure out something, kind of inventhelp.com. Like, can someone help me? Like, I mean, I have some old shirts. That's probably the next step. But is anybody at the point? Because there is a little bit of concern in my head. Like, okay, what are we going to do here?
Yeah, CVS receipt definitely is going to be the top of the list. I think you mentioned coffee filters. I think that's right. Very effective, Mason.
Yeah.
So no, I'm doing okay. I think the key is you got to go as early in the day as possible, because I don't know if these stores are stocking as much during the day, and again trying to keep people away from each other. I think they're doing a lot of stocking after business, overnight, stuff like that. You want to get there early. Get there early. You'll get your wipes. You'll get your TP. You'll get all of that. Get there early. I'm telling you. Don't buy the $75 toilet paper from China. Okay.
I don't think I'm gonna. Yeah, it probably has the consistency of sandpaper anyway, so I'm not gonna get my value for money anyway.
You might as well just go get the coffee filters. I think that's a brilliant idea. They're kind of soft, right? Like, I mean, comparatively speaking, I would say they're better than some brands of toilet paper. We don't have to talk about which particular brands, but I would say coffee filters would be better than some.
Is it Folgers or Folgers? Stock through the roof right now at this point because of this show. By the way, like and subscribe, The Weekenders. Yeah, so I'm at that point, and it's but the funny thing is I felt like a monkey the other day. It was actually late at night. I went into my local grocery store, and they start bringing out the pallet jacks of like things piled high of things to restock the shelves. And I'm like I'm not trying to be that guy at this point. Maybe I will be in another week where I'm just like diving into like the back room at this point just to get anything from a grocery store. And by the way, thank you all the grocery workers still working out there doing God's work. And the things are piled high. I'm like climbing this thing because I see like toilet paper up at the top, and I'm go gadget arm trying to get in there. There's people look at me. I don't care at this point. And it's World War Z mode in my head. Like, every man for himself, get what you need. Hopefully it legitimately doesn't come to store looting and all that, but there's a piece of that in my head for sure.
I just feel like, and first and foremost, Glasheen, we haven't touched base. How are you doing in quarantine at this point?
I'm okay. Besides the hair on my face that has been absent for now for a couple weeks, I'm doing okay. I'm trying to keep myself busy. Like I said, DraftKings has been fun on the side here, so that's been a lot of fun. But yeah, I guess my issue is when I go to bed every night, I don't know what to look forward to. That is what I'm struggling with. I can't wrap my head around what's next.
Yeah.
But I'm all right. I'm healthy. That's all I can ask for, and I'm doing my part. And that's all I got. I mean, at this point, we've stocked up. My girlfriend has been tremendous in the stocking department. She was there from the get-go, getting all the toilet paper and the paper towels and the essentials. So yeah, I can't complain. But I think I have really thoroughly enjoyed Big Jim Murray on Twitter because I think he has nailed quarantine. Murray said this is a breaking point weekend. And I think he's right because there are a lot of people outside, as we know in Boston, when it gets in the mid 70s, people might start losing their minds. And that's what I'm worried about. We're at this point. Can we get to May 18th and can we get some change, please?
Honestly, like you could see this weekend coming from a mile away. All right. I feel like generally as a society, at least in this area, I think we've been pretty good, right? I mean, you're going to have your jackasses going out in Southie on St. Patrick's Day. Like you're going to have that. Like, don't get me wrong, but I think as a whole, we've been pretty good as a region, as a society, all these things. But you know what? The weather's been absolute crap, which is great. Like I just say, like the only thing that stops stupid people is a little bit of rain because stupid people are afraid of the rain, afraid of bad weather. But the second you get a 70-degree day, like you could see this weekend coming from a mile away. And admittedly, I'm not anywhere near Boston right now. I'm kind of out in the Worcester area. But like the last place I'd want to be right now is anywhere in Boston because people are just going to be pouring out, right? I mean, Glasheen, you're in the Boston area, right? I mean, Mason, you are too. Like people are just pouring out at this point, right?
Yeah, I'm in Malden.
Like every man for himself.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Pretty much. And I think now with you got to have a mask on if you're going to be outside. I think people have done a pretty good job with that. But I haven't been on the highway. I haven't been to the station in 2 months, which is weird to think out loud. So that's a good thing. I've only been on the highway like once since this all really began. Mason, I know that's different for you.
It's so trippy coming to the station. It's like, where the hell's the Boston is statistically like we suck. Everyone, when God willing, when this is all over, it's going to be, a shit fest again on the highway because, we all don't know how to drive. And like you said, in a half an inch of rain and we all lose our damn minds. But yeah, it's like 35 minutes for me when it's usually an hour. Yeah. It makes no sense. It's like we're in a quarantine. Yeah. It's like that's what really hits it for me. Like there's no one on the road.
It doesn't feel like that's going to last much longer. Like this is the point where people are just going to start to not listen. It's just people are just going to start to go out. They're going to start to do their thing. The weather is getting nice. Like I hope we've done enough to slow the spread of this thing because people they're not going to be able to stay inside anymore. It comes down to that, which I mean, I think is kind of ridiculous. Like they're just asking us to stay inside and watch Netflix. Like we can't just do that for a few months. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, but this weekend was a total breaking point. So here's what I did yesterday. All right. As I said, I'm out in the Worcester area right now.
Okay.
And I said, all right, Worcester area, still pretty populated, right? Like you're not, put it this way, I'm not going to like go to, a park in downtown Worcester or anything like that. That's not happening. I said, we're getting out, but we're not going anywhere in the Worcester suburbs. Have you ever heard of the town of New Braintree, Massachusetts? Not Braintree, New Braintree.
Never.
No.
You ever heard of the town of Hardwick, Massachusetts?
I have.
Is that the name of a guy who does a spot at our employer? Maybe. But no, not a town.
That's where I went. That I just got in the car and I just drove west. Just drove west. Boom. Out west.
Is there anything out there?
Nope. Nothing. No.
Are there people out there?
Nothing. It was great. It was the most amazing place to social distance. There was a nice little path, little rail trail out there from a railway.
One path in Western Massachusetts.
One path. Me. No people. It was fantastic. That's what people need to do. Get in the car, drive somewhere. Doesn't matter where. Just drive somewhere where there aren't people. Pick a spot on the map. Like I looked, I was like, all right, this place just east of the Quabbin Reservoir. Let's go. Not a problem.
Nice.
Best decision I've made. I'm telling you right now. You go find that town in Massachusetts that you have never heard of in your life. Just like get on Route 2 and just go west and stop somewhere. You will find nobody. You will find the best place to social distance. It's surprisingly beautiful out here in these general parts. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Take the Matt McCarthy approach. Don't go spill into a Boston park or anything like that. Get in your car, go west, find some no-name, middle of nowhere town, and you've got it.
McCarthy, I'm proud of you. I am very proud of you, Matt McCarthy.
Proud of myself.
You know why? Because what was the activity that the non-millennials used to do way back in the day? I know we
Pokemon Go.
Millennials, I'm sure. They would just go for rides. That was a social activity. Take a ride, a mystery ride. That's what my parents used to tell me when I was here. We're going to go on a mystery ride. So Matt McCarthy proving that, you know what, millennials are overrated. The people who bitch about millennials are worse than millennials.
Damn
You know what? Good job, McCarthy. You proved that you're not a millennial.
Best social distancing activity you can think of. There's no better place on earth to social distance than your car. But gas is like $1.90 or whatever at this point.
Less, yeah.
Get that car. What else are we gonna do? You just get in that car and you go. We didn't even get on a highway. We just went on like some state roads. It's like, I don't know. We're just going west. The Quabbin's this way. We're going that way. And there we go. There we have it. And surprisingly beautiful, New Braintree and Hardwick, Massachusetts.
New Braintree. I got to keep that in mind.
New Braintree.
Spokesman for social distancing, Matt McCarthy, right here.
Yeah.
Book him right now. I can just imagine like someone like from a summer ago, time traveling to this time. Matt McCarthy's like, here's a place to go. There's nothing. Go there. There's absolutely nothing. You'll love it. It's like, what are we talking about? But you know, I totally understand. And like you, what you're getting, I think what you're putting down, I'm not a fan of people as well. So I enjoy going to areas where there's not a lot of people. So I'm one day I might go out to Hardwick in New Braintree. That sounds like a riveting time.
Oh yeah, no, I mean it's a rollicking good time, I'll tell you that. And I will say, like, for the most part, social distancing, big fan.
Yeah,
big fan. We should
let's keep it going
after all of this is over. I'm totally fine with it. You know, I'd like to be able to go to a restaurant every once in a while. That'd be cool. But for the most part, I think mandatory social distancing, our society will be much better. Just like there's only so many people that you can be around at a certain time, and then you need to like detox from those people. And you know what? We'll be a better society as a result.
I think so. There'll be no more hate. Be like, there's no reason to hate each other. Be like, you're still 6 feet apart. We just do our own thing. Like, you know, that's what texting is for. You know, that's how we communicate.
I can hate you from my very safe distance away, and it works.
Exactly.
It works out well for everybody. So
exactly.
Social distancing 2020, and the New Braintree / Hardwick, Massachusetts Chamber of Commerce can send me that check right now. All right.
Yeah. the groundhog who is the mayor of New Braintree must love you at this point, just promoting their tiny little town.
Tell you what, you look at a map of Massachusetts, there are a lot of news. There's a New Salem. That was kind of close to where we were. You would never know. Why? Because these towns don't matter. You know, I mean, it's just
we just copied England. Where you weren't original at all. We're like, we're New England. All right.
Once you get about 2 miles west of Worcester, essentially nothing matters. But you know, now,
no rules.
No rules, nothing. So now they do. So yeah, there we go. Check it out.
Love it.
You guys want to do some sports?
Sure, why not?
I'm in. This is refreshing.
Yeah, Andy Dalton.
Thank God.
Thank you.
Thank God he's
Thank
not here.
you.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man. So I can't believe we had to spend how many months now talking about the possibility of Andy Dalton being the quarterback of the New England Patriots. And finally,
Peter King.
that is over.
Immediately, right when the Patriots were eliminated in the wild card, Peter King put that bug out there, and then of course we pick it up and we talk about it for the next 3-4 months. But yes, I think that would have been, no cliche, the straw that broke my back. If Andy Dalton was the new Patriots quarterback, I would have lived in Hardwick forever. Like, I would have been away from people for all of mankind, because I can't do this. You know, we lose Tom Brady, we lose Mookie Betts, and now we can't even leave our homes. It's just been what a 2020, what a start to the new decade. But thankfully there was no disaster sauce on this lovely cake with Andy Dalton coming to the Patriots. So I'm very thankful he for some reason goes to the Cowboys. Doesn't make any sense, but all right, you enjoy him there.
Is it Dak leverage? Is that why he's in Dallas? It doesn't make sense to me either.
I have no idea.
It makes absolutely no sense. But I don't think Andy Dalton ever made sense for the Patriots anyway. And I think ultimately what you're realizing is that a lot of these free agent quarterbacks are using the Patriots as leverage. They're using, their agents are putting it out there. Oh, the Patriots are interested. Why? Because it's natural. The Patriots need a quarterback, right? And Tom Brady moves on. So if I'm Andy Dalton's agent, what's the first thing I'm telling the Dallas Cowboys or the Jacksonville Jaguars or anybody else? New England's interested. The Patriots are interested. So up the price a little bit. If I'm Cam Newton, if I'm anybody out there, a quarterback, my agent is telling people that the Patriots are interested. And I think what we've seen through their actions is that they were never interested. They were never interested in Dalton. They're not interested in Newton. They weren't interested in any veteran quarterback, Marcus Mariota or anything. They think Stidham's the guy. Rightly or wrongly, they think Stidham's the guy. And I think that's what we can take away from the way they've approached this offseason. They didn't trade up. They didn't draft a quarterback. They didn't do anything like that. They didn't sign a veteran guy. They didn't trade for a veteran quarterback. They've let every single available quarterback through free agency, trade, or the draft go by the wayside. So it tells you how they felt about Stidham, I think, all along.
See, Matt, I'm not convinced that Bill Belichick and company is convinced with Stidham, because he said so many times ad nauseum, and this is going to make us throw up on ourselves even more, as if Andy Dalton was the quarterback. Maybe he thinks it's Brian Hoyer. Like, I did it with Matt Castle in 2008. I can get us to the wild card. An 11-5 record would have been good enough to get to the playoffs. Obviously not that season. But, Brian Hoyer can get us 10-6, 11-5. Let's have Stidham stay 1 more year, 2 more years. And I'm believing more and more as more people, not to pick on your theory, but I've been hearing that a lot. And you know how Bill Belichick loves to zig while everyone he's thinking he's going to zag. So I think the starting quarterback with the Patriots is not Jarrett Stidham, but Brian Hoyer, and that makes me throw up in my mouth a little bit.
You really believe by week 1, Brian Hoyer is going to be the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots?
I think it's a bigger possibility than people are making out to be. Yes.
Now,
I'll
correct
agree
me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Hoyer cut last year? I know he had $3 million, but wasn't that because they couldn't afford him, or did Stidham beat him out? Or I think maybe the report was Hoyer beat Stidham out last year, right, for the backup job?
Here's the thing. Who knows? Really, it could have come down to the money. It could have come down to the fact that they didn't want to carry 3 quarterbacks. They still had Tom Brady, and it's a completely different world now. So even if they felt like Hoyer was better prepared to be a quarterback in the NFL last year, which still was probably the case, they probably felt like, we can make this calculated decision and we can make this calculated cut here because we want to save the $3 million. If Brady goes down, well, maybe Stidham's not as good as Hoyer, but he's not that far off. And ultimately we think we have a good team. Like, there are so many, the factors have completely changed since then. So this is why I do agree with Mason slightly that Hoyer could be the starting quarterback for the Patriots week 1. What type of offseason are they going to have? Is there going to be an NFL offseason program? Is there going to be a full training camp? Like, we still don't know those things. So what if there is a shortened camp, a shortened offseason program? Who is likely in that scenario better prepared to be the quarterback for the Patriots week 1? Hoyer or Stidham.
Yeah.
It's obviously Hoyer.
A guys that's been here for a decade. And I was listening to Marshall, Ted Johnson, and Sarge before we went on. Ted was saying, yeah, minicamp should begin like now. It should be like organized team activities should be happening right now. And yeah, I totally agree with the fact that there's no chance for a guy this off season to beat someone out if we haven't been in the building, so go with a guy who has been in the system for 10 years or however many years Hoyer has been with the Patriots. So yeah, I totally agree with that.
So that makes all the sense why they didn't go after Dalton. That's why they won't go after Cam Newton, to your point, Matt, because maybe they do want to keep it internal and keep it within the system. So perhaps there was never interest in Andy Dalton. Do you think they were even remotely interested? Like if you had to put a percentage on it, did they make phone calls? Did they call Andy Dalton the moment he was released?
5%. I'll give it 5%.
5%.
Hey,
wow.
You want to come play for the veteran minimum here? Okay, well, maybe. I think that might have been their level of interest. I can't imagine. And again, it's based on the way they've approached the offseason. It makes, you make a good point. Like, is it necessarily about Jarrett Stidham? We're making this all out to be like, oh, it's clear that Jarrett Stidham is their guy. Maybe, maybe not. Or maybe they just felt like, we feel that our current system quarterback, Stidham/Hoyer, is better than anything else that we would bring in. Which, listen, I can understand that logic. I can understand that point. So I just don't think there was really much interest in Dalton. I don't, because if there were, the Patriots are generally pretty good about getting their guy, right? I mean, the Patriots are generally when they decide they want somebody, they're generally pretty aggressive. Adam Humphries notwithstanding last year, because Bill was on a boat in Barbados. All right. So I guess maybe the world has changed a little bit, but to me, if they really wanted Dalton, don't you think they would have traded for him? You think they would have let him get out to free agent? It's just one of those things where I think the way it all adds up, they just weren't that interested.
Right. I mean, and the bottom line is he was still set to make, I believe, 17 million. So the Patriots don't have enough to pay their draft picks yet.
Yeah,
so
the Patriots don't have any money. So
yeah, like, Bill, get rid of your special teamers. Damn. Which kind of leads me to, we can continue with Dalton, but this leads into, a former number one quarterback who just signed as a backup for basically vet minimum. Jameis Winston, back on Tuesday, goes to the Saints to back up Drew Brees, kind of the Teddy Bridgewater role. If Brees is there one more year, then New Orleans is set. But yes, I understand this guy is the definition of extremes, the most bipolar at the quarterback position ever. We're talking about a guy who second most in touchdown passes last year, the only guy to overthrow 5,000 yards last season, and he goes for $1 million. Bill pays his special teamers more than $1 million, and you don't want a guy like that. Yes, I understand he's probably the exact opposite of what you set for in taking care of the ball and turnover differential and all that crap. But listen, we're talking about a guy who obviously number one overall pick. I just mentioned 5,000 yards last year, over 30 touchdowns. And not only did he just sign for essentially vet minimum, he was ball gagged into giving his number to the Saints kicker. The Saints kicker wears number 3. And he's like, oh no, that's okay. That's okay. I'll wear 5. I just want a job. You can't pay that guy, who has the bigger ceiling than Stidham and Hoyer exponentially, and for $1 million. You can't do that. You can't do that, Bill. I think that's an opportunity. Was besides letting Tom Brady walk out the door, was an incredible missed opportunity. What do you guys think about Winston?
I mean, listen, I don't like the player at all, one bit. I've never been a Jameis Winston fan. Don't like the player, but for $1 million, like as a backup quarterback, man, I mean, even I'd start to consider that. And again, like Dalton or Winston, like I guess I take Dalton, and you know how I feel about Andy Dalton. Like,
really?
My God. Yeah, I mean, at least Andy Dalton has been somewhat successful in the National Football League, and I wouldn't really characterize Jameis Winston as like you can throw for a bazillion yards. Like it doesn't really matter. Like that doesn't really impress me. Like at least Andy Dalton has, not to say been there and done that, but he's been a starting quarterback in this league for almost 10 years, as much as I dislike the player. But man, for $1 million, like put it this way, would I rather have Jameis Winston for $1 million or Andy Dalton for 7? I'd rather have Jameis Winston for $1 million. And I really don't like the quarterback, but I would have given it a shot. Why not?
I'm convinced Jameis Winston might be a trade chip, because if they like Taysom Hill so much, the moment a team loses a quarterback, Sean Payton, trusted guy offensively in the National Football League. Hey, Pittsburgh, Big Ben goes down because he's fat and out of shape and he has a big beard and he gets hurt week 4. We'll throw you a 4th for Jameis Winston. All right, sure, here you go, all yours. Like I think these guys are like, even Andy Dalton could be a trade chip, because as much as we say this every year, and I think right now in terms of the league's quarterback situations, we're unsure about Jacksonville and we're unsure about the Patriots. Those 2 teams.
Yeah.
League wide. Everyone else, I think, has a plan. We think. And then what do you know? Just like we say every year, well, they've got their coach. Then all of a sudden there's 7 openings. Like everyone says, oh, we've got our coach. What if Baker Mayfield goes out and pukes on himself again this year? Well, the Browns need a quarterback. Someone will need a quarterback. And I think that's smart by New Orleans, even Dallas. They might use these veteran guys as trade chips.
That's an interesting point, Brendan. I would just say that almost never happens. And listen, we're sitting here in a pandemic, so I'm not going to talk about like things that never happen and saying that they never could happen. I would just say that it's probably pretty hard to trade a quarterback mid-year, right? Because you have to learn the offense, you have to learn the system. But listen, if anything could happen, it's not a bad approach from Sean Payton. It's a no-lose approach for the Saints. Like for Jameis Winston, though, like, aren't you essentially the 3rd quarterback there? I mean, that's kind of how I approach it. Like Taysom Hill has to be ahead of you on the depth chart at this point. Sort of, not really. It's a weird situation. Like I'm surprised that ended up being his best situation.
Have we ever? I mean, we look at Ryan Leaf. He was 2nd to Peyton Manning that year, but not that this is a downfall for Jameis Winston, but just 5 years ago, number 1 overall pick, you're the 3rd string quarterback. All of a sudden, compared to what he did last year. I understand 30 interceptions. I totally agree. And I don't want to sound like a bobo for Jameis over here, be like, oh, he got LASIK, he can see now. But like some of these comments, like, oh yeah, I can finally read license plates when I'm driving. Like, you would think that'd be important as a quarterback. Maybe, I don't know, to see. But if this is true, I don't know. Again, like I agree with Brendan's point. If this is a trade chip, maybe even something more than 4th. If you think there's a team that like we're built to win now, and God forbid if Lamar Jackson goes down and the Ravens continue what they were doing last year, having the best record last year, and then all of a sudden it's week 9 and they're sitting at 8-1, then yeah, you do so, or whenever the trade deadline is. Go with me here. So yeah, I agree with that. Could be a definite. Trade the
code. Forgive me, I might sound like Felger, but coaching too in the league is so important. Like, look at the record, like the track record for Andy Dalton. You're with Cincinnati, the Bengals. Marvin Lewis is your coach for year after year. Now, I think to Mason's point, I think there's more upside with Jameis Winston. I just looked up his age. He's 26. Like, he's still young. Like, Teddy Bridgewater's 25 and just got $20 million guaranteed, and he's yet to be, he was a starter with Minnesota for a little bit. He started 5 games last year for the Saints. Like, there's something there with Jameis. And I guess to circle it back to the Patriots, I guess I'm just surprised that Bill Belichick doesn't look at it more and say, I can coach this guy up. Like, put this guy in our offense with Josh. We can dumb it down a little bit, and I can win with this guy. I guess I was excited for that narrative. Like, I understand we kicked off the show being like, thank God, no Andy Dalton. But to your point, McCarthy, for $1 million, Jameis Winston, like, give it a shot. I would have been into it. I would have been into it because there's potential there. But like the question too is, well, you had Bruce Arians, and isn't Bruce Arians considered one of the upper echelon coaches now in the league? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and also, it would go against everything Bill has ever done when it comes to the quarterback position. When does Bill bring in outside veteran guys? It does not happen. He drafts, he develops. It's the 5th round pick or whatever who becomes the backup, or in the case of Hoyer, undrafted 7th round pick, whatever he was. Same with Matt Castle. He drafted Garoppolo. He drafted Mallett. He's drafted just about every single backup quarterback behind Brady over the last 20 years. I mean, Rohan Davey. I mean, I think the last basically veteran quarterback that the Patriots brought in from outside the organization, I think you have to go back to like Damon Heward or somebody like that. Like, it's been so long that it would be so against everything Bill has ever done at the quarterback position to bring in a starter, to bring in somebody like that from somewhere else. It's not what he does.
I mean, I would understand, Matt. Obviously, the quarterback position is the number one position in the NFL. But, talking about things that Bill Belichick has never done before, he's never really went out on day one of free agency and gave $40 million to a free agent. He did that to Stephon Gilmore a few years ago. He's never taken a wide receiver in the first round. Doesn't need that. Did it with N'Keal Harry. So, he's been constantly adjusting. And to my point, everyone's playing checkers while he's playing chess and all that crap, so it's, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few more tricks up Bill Belichick's sleeve. And this would be, because this, at least from, unless they're still worried about character issues with Jameis Winston, I don't understand why something like this for $1 million. I don't care if you hate the guy. He was a starting quarterback in the league. You got to do that when your situation is unclear at best.
All right. I think we've got that taken care of. And again, you can tweet at us at Matt McCarthy 98.5, at Mason Sousa 1. Is that correct?
You got it. Thank
Brent,
you.
What's your Twitter handle? Is it Glasheen?
BJ_Glash.
There we go. BJ_Glash. So check us out there. You can also comment on the YouTube comment page, and we'll be happy to read those as well. I see Joe Murray's checking in.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Just sitting here. If you haven't checked out Joe's daily podcast, it's fantastic, by the way. He's had so many great guests on that. You definitely want to check that out.
Who's he talking about here? A young Bobo Baggins. Is that Brendan?
It's gotta be this, right? Is that a reference? Bobo Baggins?
Maybe.
You got me. I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah. Joe, we don't know. Sorry. We suck. What can I say?
We're just sitting here. That's all.
Just sitting here. You know what I wish I was doing today, though? It's 70 degrees. I wish I was out on the course. I'm not going to lie. And listen, I've been like, Mr. Team, shut it down. I mean, I was like the first person, like, shut it down. Shut it. I went straight up John Taffer on the world. I shut it down. That's what I wanted to do. Shut this thing down. Let's all take a pause. Let's let this thing run its course. We'll come back in the summer. Everything will be good. I want to be out on the course. I want to golf. I do. And you know what? I think it's kind of ridiculous that Massachusetts, and listen, I know there are a lot of tough decisions to be made. I'm not trying to be critical of anybody here. Is there one activity out there that you can do while being 6 feet apart from people?
I think there is.
It's golf. Golf. We need to golf. We need the golf courses open here in this state. Why? Because that's going to keep people out of the parks. It's going to keep people away from these crowded areas. Just give people something to do, something safe to do. Like, we need those things, right? And I feel like golf is one of those things that we can do. Massachusetts needs to open up the golf courses, not tomorrow, not an hour from now, right now.
As we're speaking, yes.
I need the golf courses open right now. I need to go shoot 9 after this.
Isn't New Hampshire doing something in a week or so? I forget.
May 11th, New Hampshire is opening up the golf courses to us, which I said, yes, we're going up to the Granite State. I've never been so excited to go to New Hampshire in my life. And I realized it's only for New Hampshire residents. So when I roll
they're doing that with the parks too. And I go camping with family in New Hampshire all the time, and they're going to check your license plate. That's a clear giveaway. They're going to probably check your license too.
That sucks.
Completely ridiculous, by the way, because we are economically responsible for that entire state. It would not exist if not for us. Like, let's not forget here that New Hampshire is essentially in existence as a result of us. Nobody would go there. Nobody would live there if it weren't for us. We're the only people who go there. So why don't you open up your golf courses for us after we've been supporting you basically back to the time of the colonies? So why don't you let some people from Massachusetts in to play some golf? Because you let us in for everything else, right?
It's the little stepchild of Massachusetts, and now they want to be the big brother. Oh no, it's just for us. We don't need your help. We're opening, and it's just for New Hampshire. Unbelievable. Yeah, I'm not a big golf guy, but literally, actually, just a couple of days ago, I drove by a field and like, ooh, that'd be cool to go out on. It was a golf course, and I don't golf, and I'm like, I had this feeling like, yeah, why aren't we doing this? I guess the only thing to sanitize would be the pin and the cart. That's really it. You bring your own clubs. So
you need the cart.
Yeah, walk.
Everyone walk. Everyone walk, you fat asses.
Yeah, no, not that hard. You want to go out and golf? Hey, listen, that's fine. Don't close the clubhouse, close the 19th hole, close all that stuff. Fill in the holes. Don't even make people reach. Just have them shoot at the pin, draw a little, like, three. Here's the thing.
Let's play hopscotch.
You could spray paint a little, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, your gimme circle or whatever, 3 feet in or whatever. And if you putt it within that 3 feet, you just pick it up. There's no need to touch the pin. You think people wouldn't do that? Come on. Open the golf courses.
Don't even think of how many times you've played golf, McCarthy. You're probably social distancing without even realizing it. Everyone keeps their space. You want to give, like, if someone's shooting, you don't want to get in their backswing. You're quiet. I'm totally with you. I think we already social distance for the most part when we golf.
Yes. Oh yeah, exactly.
Totally agree.
I have friends who are good at golf. I am not. I'm in the woods. They're in the fairway. We're always social distanced. I mean, I'm never near them. They're near the hole. I'm never not. So it's perfect. You just take the card away and then we're good. We're golden.
Everyone's talking softly too, so we're not spitting our germs, when we get excited. Yeah. So it's I totally understand and I agree. We basically do social quarantine while golfing. So yeah, that is a missed opportunity, and the golf courses should be making money.
Yes, exactly. And here's the thing, you want all these businesses to be able to operate, if they can, safely. I mean, there are plenty of businesses that need to be shut down. I understand that. Like, it's not going to be safe for people. And I mean, we all know people in the restaurant industry and everything, and they're really hurting, and it sucks. And everybody has been hurt by this. But if you can operate some way, somehow, like all these places doing takeout, if you can operate in some capacity, I think you should be able to operate in some capacity. And golf is one of those things that I think can operate. Like, all right, so we're not going to put 70,000 people into Gillette Stadium for Taylor Swift this summer. I understand why. All right. Am I bummed that I'm not going to get to go to Taylor Swift this summer? Yes. Yes, I am very much bummed, but I also understand why. And I'm totally in favor of that. Golfing, I don't understand this at all. Open the courses, please.
We'll get there. I have faith. We'll get there. If they're going to let Brady, Manning, Mickelson, and Tiger golf, we should all golf too.
You guys going to watch that? When is that? Have they officially announced a date?
I don't know.
I don't know. But, Tom Brady should lose a stroke or two because he was invading the parks of Tampa.
That's right. Not
so.
That man should be arrested. He should be imprisoned.
Shame on him.
He's a different person. This reckless, lawless guy down in Tampa. Unbelievable.
Tom Brady. I don't like him.
I hate him.
Yeah. What a clown. What a complete and total clown. I'll tell you what though.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Mace.
Well, you were getting to this golf contest, but I don't want to. We can jump around, whatever. I realized something about myself right when Brady mentioned that he won't be a Patriot anymore, a couple days before he signed with the Bucks. I may be a fraud, but I think I was Brady over Patriots. I don't think I'm a Patriots fan, guys. Like, I thought I was my whole life, but I mean, we'll see what happens come September. I think I'm watching all Bucks games. Maybe I'm saying that right now, but obviously we talk about the Patriots, and I'll keep an eye on them. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to be watching more Bucks games than Patriots games.
I have a take on this, and I was discussing this with my friend yesterday, and he made a great point. So real quick, I was not happy with the whole Gronk thing. Brady, I get. The Gronk thing bugged me because clearly you could have wrote out your contract. You went and whined to people in New York about how football was giving you nightmares. Clearly not enough. You took 1 year off. Great. You want to take a year off? Totally get it. But you didn't retire. You fake retired. You didn't officially retire. So I'm trying to put the Gronk thing aside. And my friend says to me, look, just picture this. It's week 3. It's the middle of September. Quarantine's over. It's a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Patriots just beat the Dolphins at Gillette. And then what do you know? It's 4:25. You're on Fox. And it's it's Bucks, Saints, and Brady's throwing slant routes to Rob Gronkowski. You're not going to get pumped about that. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be freaking sweet. And if they're right, Mason, they're going to organize the schedule in such a way where Patriots will be on at 1 on CBS, and then at 4:30 or 8 o'clock, whatever it is, they will make it so Patriots fans can also watch Brady. For you guys, I think we can all relate, millennials. Brady's the only thing we know at the quarterback position. He is the only thing we know. So it is normal. It is outside of Bledsoe. For me, I was too young to really remember the whole Bledsoe era. But for me, Tom Brady is the one and only quarterback of the New England Patriots, for as far as I know, watching them. So yeah, I'm going to be rooting for him hard.
I am too. And you know what? To your point, Brendan, I really hope the NFL is smart in that we don't have too many Patriots games going up against Bucks games, because I'm going to be fascinated to see just from somebody who likes sports media. And, obviously we all work in this industry, so I think we're all interested in stuff like this. Like, I can't wait to see the ratings, the Providence market ratings for Tampa Bay Buccaneers games, because I guarantee you that those games will be on here way more. I mean, listen, I don't have Sunday ticket. I don't have Red Zone. I'm a cheap bastard. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
same.
So I don't have any of that. So I can't tell you how many Bucks games I've watched in the last 5 years. I haven't watched too many Bucks games in the last 5 years. Why? Because they were never on television here for good reason. Why would you put Jameis Winston on in this market? What, for some garbage game against the Panthers? Who gives a crap? We're going to get so many Bucks games this season, and I hope we get so many Bucks games.
Yeah.
It should be every weekend. As much as they can put Tampa Bay Buccaneer games on in this market, I hope we get that, because
it won't be hard. It won't be hard. They play Green Bay, they play Kansas City, they play New Orleans twice. I mean, that right there, those are 4 primetime games. Forget the 4 o'clock or 1 o'clock slot. They'll be on Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night. We're going to get it. We're going to get it.
But at the same time, they're a business and they're a bunch of greedy bitches. You know what? You don't have it in your local, buy the Sunday ticket, buy Red Zone, and we'll get some kind of revenue because of that. So that's what I fear. I hope they would do us a solid a couple times a year, maybe. But no, I feel like, you know what? You love your Tom Brady. You got to buy the package. So I'm leaning pessimistic on that side. I that's what this quarantine has made me.
It's going to be so crazy. Week 1, when you turn, because I mean, they're going to be prime time week 1. They have to.
Gotta be.
I mean, that's got to be. So think about it. Sunday night football or whatever it is, Monday night football, that's probably, they'll throw ESPN a bone on that. Like, whatever it is, you're going to get Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're going to watch that, like, and that's going to hit you. It's going to hit you in that moment. Because I feel like it still hasn't hit a lot of us. I mean,
I agree.
Brady,
not until we see it.
Like, not until we see it. Like, the whole world gone to hell in a handbasket. Okay. So, like, I feel like we haven't been focusing on this. When it actually happens week 1 and you're sitting there watching Tom Brady throw touchdown passes to Rob Gronkowski, because it's going to happen.
In red.
In that ugly, putrid Tampa Bay Buccaneers red.
That alarm clock red that they changed, I know, but still.
Oh, no. Oh.
Yes. Now that you're saying it out loud, Sunday night makes all the sense in the world. And, like, a little sub package that no one cares about. Jameis Winston on the Saints against his former team on the bench. Saints Bucks Sunday night week 1. I would. Is Joe still watching right now? I'd put money on that. I think it's going to be Saints Bucks Sunday night week 1.
Right, because you get the Chiefs Thursday night. You would get them
Thursday
night as the Super Bowl champions. I mean, it's got to be a Sunday night game. I mean, the question is, do you put them against the Saints week 1 Sunday night?
Yeah, I think it's got to be.
I think, from the NFL's perspective, that's exactly what I do, because those guys are also over 40 years old. You never know. They could be one hit away from that matchup not happening. I put that week 1, Sunday night football, Saints, Bucks.
Divisional matchup. Why not? Let's do it.
Love it.
There we go. There you go, NFL. We figured it out for you. I think I saw next week. Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. The check will be in the mail. So because this time last year, I want to say, obviously this has screwed up everything. This time last year, we had the schedule already for the NFL, and everything's been pushed back for some reason. They can't get on a Zoom call and virtually figure out the schedule, but I guess it's only the preseason. We'll find out next week, and we'll go from there. So. Yeah, I guess
Goodell's still taking a nap in his armchair from the draft.
Well, he's too
that robot
and broken up from all those people booing him on virtually booing him on the draft. I know that. Yeah, he's just one of the guys. He likes that good-natured ribbing in all of those things.
I mean, that worked for 2 picks, like the self-deprecating. Okay, he's showing he's a human.
It didn't work for any picks.
Maybe for a second, but when it kept going into like the hour number 4, it's pick number 30, and he's yelling at a TV. Like, what are we doing? This is the cringiest thing in the world. And I was I talking to you last Matt last week? We were talking about how just every other pick, someone was either dead or dying, based on the ESPN broadcast. Like I'm trying to run away from my problems, not take on yours. Okay, right. So I'm sorry. Does that make me a bad guy? Yes. But just what are we doing? Please.
It was all like, this guy's entire family died in a tragic roller coaster accident, and then he was raised by wolves, and here he is being drafted into the NFL.
What a special day it is for him, isn't it?
What a special day it is for him. So what was it like when your whole family was killed in that roller coaster accident? Like, huh? What? Hello? We don't want to do this.
We're suing Mickey Mouse right now. What a special day for Disney World it is. Yeah, it was very cringy. But I mean, I'm disappointed it wasn't hacked. That's the number one. That there were no drawings coming up on the screen like on a previous show, and then some kind of material showed up on Goodell's face. That would have been great.
I have a question for both of you. It just occurred to me because we're all and look, this could take up a whole nother hour, but we've got limited time. My question to you is this: everyone has discussed, what if Brady does really well in Tampa and the Patriots don't do well? Well, Brady wins. What if Belichick does really well and Brady doesn't do well? Well, then Belichick wins. What are the chances both don't do well? Like, who is at a higher risk of starting 1 and 2, and then which market? Tampa or clearly New England is a better sports market than Tampa Bay. But I guess my question is, who is at higher risk of getting slammed if the team starts 1 and 2, Brady or Belichick?
Belichick. It has to be Belichick, because you know what? You can at least, I guess you can explain away that if Brady goes to Tampa and it doesn't really work out, like, he's just the latest athlete in a long line of great all-time athletes who, Michael Jordan on the Wizards, Willie Mays on the Mets. Like, we've seen that before. So I think people will be loud and they'll be critical of Brady. It's like, oh, he ate, whatever. Like, but people will forget that. If Brady goes on to Tampa Bay and does well, and Belichick and the Patriots do not do well, that stays with them. That does. You let Tom Brady, the greatest player in the history of the NFL, walk out the door when he still had something left to give. You chased Rob Gronkowski essentially out of town because you were too tough on him. Like, all those things. Like, Belichick has more to lose in this than Brady does. I do like, it is interesting though. Like, what if both don't do well? And let's not necessarily rule that out. I mean, listen, I'm like card carrying Tom Brady, Bobo #1, like president of the fan club. I think he's going to play really well in Tampa because I think he still does have something to give. And I think he's got good weapons around him. I think he's got a good offense, like all those things. And listen, he's playing in good weather and all those, like he'll be fine. I believe that. But what happens if they don't do well? Then I guess everybody was right or wrong, or equally right or equally wrong. And
yeah,
I don't know how to feel. I just feel like no one has spoke enough to the point of, what if both don't do well? We've talked so much about one over the other. If one does well and the other doesn't, but what if this all blows up in our faces? Like, what if Tampa is just all this hype and it just doesn't work?
In the end, I think the most intelligent person will be like, well, they needed each other. One is good by themselves, the other's good by themselves, but together they were the best duo in the history this league has ever seen. So, say for example, they both go 6-10 next year. The Bucs 6-10, the Patriots with Stidham goes 6-10. I personally think in year one next year, this is where I disagree with Matt a little bit. I think Brady will get more blame. Be like, oh, okay, listen, Bill Belichick, young quarterback, give him another year. This is kind of like a mulligan year for Belichick, but Brady, like you said, yes, you're 42 or 43 or whatever, but this was your year to prove it. You leave and then you pull a 6-10 season. But if the Patriots continue to go 7-9, 8-8, 6-10, 7-9 the next 4 years, and say, Brady lasts another 2 years, does the same, I think in the end, Bill Belichick has the more pressure and be like, all right, so to your point, Matt, Brady was just old. He reached his quote unquote cliff, and he was just a mediocre quarterback, like they all do when they reach 40 years old. Yeah. But Bill Belichick's still there. Supposedly he's still the genius, unless he's going senile. So yeah, in the end, say 5 years from now, if they both suck, Bill Belichick will get more of "you needed Brady."
Yeah, and we'll judge them differently, right? Like for Tom Brady, it's win Super Bowl or bust in these 2 years. So if the Bucs at minimum don't win 9 games and make the playoffs, it's a fail.
Yeah,
see, I don't know. I'll disagree about that. I don't think Brady needs to win a Super Bowl in Tampa. I just think he needs to play well.
So
what if they don't make the playoffs?
Yeah, define play well.
I mean, listen, if he's putting up like gaudy numbers and all those things, and not like Jameis Winston gaudy numbers, if he's putting up gaudy numbers and he still looks good at the age of 43, like that's his next mountain to climb. Okay. Like Brady's already won 6 Super Bowls. He's already the greatest winner, the greatest player in the history of the NFL. Now, if people say like, oh yeah, and he was still really good at age 44, it's like, okay, maybe the Bucs weren't great, maybe they didn't win a Super Bowl, and I mean, listen, if they missed the playoffs, Brady's probably a part of the reason why. Like, I understand that, but listen, if he goes to Tampa Bay and plays well, I don't think he necessarily has to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's where I'll actually disagree with you. I think he needs to get to. I think
they got to make a run. Like they've got to get beat. Like
it's NFC Championship game or bust.
Yeah.
For this to have worked, for Tom Brady to, and that I'm even being kind of generous a little bit. I actually think he needs to win. I actually think he needs to win in Tampa. Their legacies are set in stone, just to prove to the dumb idiots out there, like, oh, okay, Brady won one, Belichick didn't. So therefore, Brady was the 51% in the dynasty and Belichick was the 49, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, you can calculate the records if they go 12-4 and then get an upset in the first round. Is that a win for Brady? I don't know.
You know why, Matt? You know why I don't think it's enough? Because Tom Brady won't think it's enough. He will hold himself to a standard to win the Super Bowl. If both people. Now, look, I know Belichick's got has a lot more left in the tank in terms of years he can coach compared to Brady playing quarterback. Tom Brady is not in Tampa to just make a nice run and play well. I think he wants to win a title. He's in it. He is in it to chase Jordan. He is in it to set a record for a number of Super Bowls won or a number of championships won by any athlete in any sport. I think now
the public, because he's not topping Bill Russell.
He's just going to say
that. Okay, all right. Well, Bill Russell,
right? And I know people focus on the Jordan number. Well, Jordan had 6. Well, Brady had 6. Like, I mean, how many did Yogi Berra had? Like 9.
Yeah.
Or 10. Like so. It's one of those things. I know people compare Brady to Jordan because you're talking about the 2 greatest players in their sport and all of those things. But I also come back to this. If winning was truly what mattered to Tom Brady at this point, which I know it sounds crazy because it's been 20 years of Brady caring nothing about winning. You think he holds the Patriots over a barrel for a 2-year, $50 million contract, or do you think he takes less money the way he always had? Do you think he stays in New England with Bill Belichick, who still gives him a better chance to win because he's Bill Belichick and the greatest coach in the history of the National Football League? Like, he went to Tampa Bay, literally the losingest franchise in the history of the National Football League. Okay, so like his best chance to win was still here. His best chance to win was to take less, the way he's always taken less, allow the Patriots to build around him or whatever, and stay here. His best chance to win was still here. Okay. But he went to Tampa Bay, which is a comfortable, nice situation where he can put up some nice numbers and play pretty well. I think that means more to him now. And I don't blame him. He's already climbed Mount Everest when it comes to winning. All right. And he'll win as a byproduct of this, but like, does he have a better chance to win in Tampa Bay when he has to go up against the Saints twice? He might not win his own division. All right. So like, this decision was not all about winning for Tom Brady. I think
it'll hit him. It'll hit him though. If they start 1-2, he'll be like, damn it, I'm mad. Like it will hit him.
Sure.
I'm like, just like we discussed, like it will hit us when he throws Gronk runs a seam route and makes a catch for a touchdown. It's going to hit us like, oh crap. Like these two don't play for the Patriots anymore. Yeah. Tom Brady, it will hit him when he puts that uniform on. And if they don't start well, he'll say, oh my God.
I know we have just a couple of minutes left here, but I think there's a couple factors in this because, we heard, Brady after the win against the Eagles or whatever, and he looks miserable. He said, I'm the most miserable 8-0 quarterback ever because The team was built on the defense for the first time in a long time, since the original Super Bowl wins, since the original dynasty. And is it a control thing? Yeah, probably. That's probably one of the things. Like, we can't rely on our offense. I'm the quarterback. Usually the offense is the reason why we win. And now I got to rely on our defense. While our defense is very good, it ended up screwing us in the end in week 17 in the wild card. And he's like, you know what? You're not building around the offense anymore. I'm going to go to a team where that is the focal point. The offense is the focal point and why we will hypothetically win games. So I can't, because it's not in my control. I can't play defense. So I can't rely on an all-star defense, which the Patriots were. But in the end, Matt, to your question, coming up this season, we'll see what Bill Belichick does surrounding his teams. I'm not convinced Bruce Arians is the second best quarterback or coach in the league. But for this upcoming season, Brady is better with the Bucs than the Patriots. That's totally. I truly believe that.
Hey guys, it's been fun. It's been a blast.
Absolutely.
Hope to see you guys soon.
That hour flew by.
Yeah, we're looking forward to hopefully hearing you on May 18th. Let's all just stay calm. Everything will be good. Stay inside. Don't go to crowded places. All those things. It's been fun. Again, check us out at Matt McCarthy 98.5, at Mason Sousa 1, at BJ_Glash on Twitter, and of course here on the YouTube channel as well.
Thank you, Marshall Hook. Pidu.
Yes, as always, thanks to Marshall Hook, and we'll be back next weekend, I'm sure. So looking forward to it. Good to see you guys.
See you, Shayna.
Peace.